What is up, boy tubies? This I know I'm like really late considering it's officially Saturday. It's like 12:37 in the morning on Saturday, and episode 6 premieres tomorrow. So I'm trying to get this in beforehand. This is The Walking Dead season 7, episode 5. If you're wondering, my book is right here. Episode 5, titled Go Getters, which premiered November 20. Um we start off with, we finally see Maggie. Maggie's alive and well, but well, I'm kind of scared what possibly happened to the baby, because I pretty much knew Maggie was all right, but I was kind of scared what happened to the baby. So we pretty much start off the episode with Maggie's eyes fluttering open. She's obviously at Hilltop Community because that place is way too nice. Just saying. She's not out in the open or anything, and she's obviously not with the Saviors, because I highly doubt the Saviors would give her peace to sleep like that. I'm just saying. Like, her eyes are fluttering open. She looks weak, but she definitely looks healthier than we last saw her. And apparently she's in a medical trailer at Hilltop, and she's being taken care of by a doctor named Dr. Carson. And he pretty much tells Maggie what happened to her. Apparently she suffered from abruptio placentae or something like that. I suck at medical terms. It has something to do with the placenta or something like that. But anyway, it's apparently the separation of the placenta from the uterus. And I was like, isn't that a bad thing if you're pregnant? I mean, I've never been pregnant before, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of bad, isn't it? I'm just saying. But anyway, Dr. Carson said, the baby's fine, just rest and stay at Hilltop for the whole duration of your pregnancy, so I could take care of you, basically. And when Maggie, leaves the medical trailer, Sasha's outside the medical trailer, and she begs Sasha, where is Glenn and Abraham? Because apparently they brought the bodies of Glenn and Abraham with them to Hilltop. And Sasha brings her over there, and apparently Sasha buried them both in like this little patch garden thing in Hilltop, and Maggie's all kneeling beside Glenn's grave, and Sasha gives Glenn's pocket watch. Remember, Herschel, Maggie's dad, gave Glenn that pocket watch when pretty much gave his blessing to marry Maggie, right? And Sasha said that it was the only thing that was in Glenn's pocket when he died. She gives the pocket watch. When I saw that pocket watch, I just cried. I was like, oh, it really is Glenn, because Glenn always had that pocket watch. It always came back to him. If it was ever separated from him, it always managed to come back to him. So it was almost like a reminder that we lost Glenn, and a horrible reminder, and especially with the pocket watch, man. It was just like, man. But anyway, Maggie, she places the pocket watch on Glenn's grave to pretty much use it as a marker, because they put like crosses and stuff, but there's nothing that says Glenn or Abraham. So she's like, I'll put the watch here. This is Glenn, right? And Sasha heard from the doctor that about Maggie's condition, and Maggie pretty much told Sasha everything that Dr. Carson said, like that he advised her to pretty much stay at Hilltop for the duration of her pregnancy so he could keep an eye on her. And Sasha's like, okay, then I will stay here with you at Hilltop. And, during that duration, right? And Jesus shows up, and turns out that he's the one that put the flowers on Glenn and Abraham's graves, and he came back with fresh flowers, which I thought was pretty cute. And he was even the one that gave the flowers to Maggie. Remember when in the beginning of the episode, when she opens her eyes, she sees a vase of flowers in front of her. It was also from Jesus. So, like, just that alone, I'm starting to really like Jesus. I really am. I was like, dang. Giving flowers to Maggie at her bedside, giving flowers to the graves of Abraham and Glenn, and then coming back to give new flowers. You're winning points with me, dude. You really are. But anyway, that dude Gregory arrives. Remember that guy that got stabbed in season 6? He pretty much arrives and demands to know why Maggie's people did they wipe. He's all demanding to Maggie, did you wipe out all the saviors? And she's like, no, turns out that place was just an outpost. And he's like, just an outpost. How many people are there? It's like, she's like, hundreds. It's like, do they know about this deal that we made with Rick to take out the outpost? And, just that alone got me pissed off at Gregory, and it pissed me off even more when he saw the graves of Glenn and Abraham. He's like, what? Who buried these people here? We don't bury our people. We burn our people. And then he's like, who's this lady? Apparently he only recognized Maggie, right? He's like, who's this lady? And all that stuff. And to Sasha, and I was like, this dude, I don't like him already. I want to punch him in the face. I'm kind of wishing he stayed stabbed. I really am. I never thought I would. But anyway, he pretty much tells Maggie and Sasha, because he doesn't want to be, since, it was just an outpost and it wasn't the legitimate, all the saviors, he's kind of scared that, all the deal that he made with Rick to take out the outpost, it will come back to him, especially since they only took out an outpost, so he's really scared about it, so he's, like, pretty much ordering Maggie and Sasha to leave Hilltop. And then Jesus, of course, he's like, come on, it's getting dark soon, you can't leave them both out at night. He's like, okay, fine. I want them to leave, but I'll let them leave by morning. How about that? And all that stuff. Because I'm a nice guy. And I was like, Gregory, shut up. I really wanted to tell him to shut up. I really don't like Gregory. I'm really regretting hoping that he healed from his stab wound. Because now I really wanted him dead. But anyway, the reason, like I said, the reason why Gregory doesn't want Maggie and Sasha there is because, he doesn't want the saviors to find out that he made a deal with Rick, with Alexandria, to take out the saviors. And he pretty much tells Jesus, if they leave, he has plausible deniability, so if the saviors show up at Hilltop, he could just deny that he had anything to do with what happened at the outpost, right? And because he can deny it, the saviors won't think that, Hilltop colluded with Alexandria to take out the outpost, like I said. And I was like, this guy, this pansy little man, seriously, I am not liking him at all. Sorry, hang on, I'm just deleting something. Okay, here you go. Anyway, back in Alexandria, Rick is trying to convince Carl to join him and Aaron on a supply run, because apparently him and Aaron are going on a supply run for the saviors, because remember, the saviors pretty much want half of all they have. And Carl, he's like, I refuse to bow down to them. I refuse to do what they want me to do, right? And as Rick's leaving, he's telling Michelle, me and Aaron, we're going to go north for the supply run. And he gives her a walkie-talkie, just in case, she changes her mind and wants to join them, right? And he kisses her on the cheek, which I thought was pretty funny. Like, he kisses her on the cheek, and Michonne just grabs him and just full out mini make-out with him. And I thought that was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that's totally random. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know, obviously they're kind of in a relationship, they slept with each other several times, but things have somewhat cooled off ever since, Rick got traumatized by Negan. So I was kind of surprised when Rick, kissed Michonne on the cheek, and I was even more surprised when Michonne just grabbed him and mini made out with him. Just saying. I thought it was pretty surprising in my end. But anyway, as he parts ways, Carl has a conversation with Michonne. Michonne ends up, taking off too, and something outside the window catches Carl's eye, and, of course, usually whatever catches Carl's eye is usually Enid, and it turns out to be right, because Carl finds Enid pretty much scaling the perimeter wall like she always does. And, the reason why she's pretty much climbing the wall of Alexandria is because she wants to go see Maggie at Hilltop. Carl tells her, it's a bad idea to go, because, one, she's going on to Hilltop on foot, which is apparently pretty dang far from Alexandria, and, she will be alone, she'll be basically unprotected, but he's like, you shouldn't go, but I'm not gonna stop you, basically, you know what I mean? And, back at Hilltop, we see Sasha making a bed on a couch, which apparently is in Jesus's trailer. Apparently, Sasha and Maggie get to sleep in Jesus's trailer. Maggie gets the bed while Sasha's making her bed on the couch. Since they're staying there the night, and she asks Jesus to change Gregory's mind, and even offers to earn Maggie's keep by scavenging for Hilltop, right? Earn her keep and Maggie, since Maggie can't really do anything because she's pregnant. And I thought it was also interesting because Jesus gives this next thing that Jesus does, I thought was pretty interesting, because Jesus pretty much gives Sasha Abraham's break light necklace. And remember, I found that ironic, the irony of it all, because that Abraham's break light necklace, that was made and given to Abraham by Rosita before Abraham dumped her. So I thought that was kind of ironic, you know? Rosita makes and gives a necklace to Abraham, and then Abraham ends up dumping her for Sasha, and then he ends up getting killed. And that very necklace that Rosita gave to Abraham before he dumped her ends up in the hands of the new lover, Sasha. And I was like, oh, the irony of it all. I wonder if she actually knows that Rosita's the one that made and gave that to Abraham. I'm actually curious. It doesn't look like she does know, because if she did, it would kind of be kind of awkward, knowing that, you know, my man's former lover that he dumped for me made that necklace for him. It would be kind of awkward. But judging by her reaction, she didn't really seem awkward by it, so I don't think she knows that was actually made by Rosita. Anyway, yeah. Maggie asked Jesus why Hilltop residents burned their dead. And, she also asked them, you know, what do you have to remember them by if you just, you know, burn your dead? And Jesus pretty much says, us. How do we remember our dead? Us. We are pretty much preserving their memories, basically. Anyway, we see Enid. She's riding apparently she found a bike. I thought she was going to Hilltop by foot, but apparently she's riding a bike. She found a bike and she's riding it down an empty road. And she manages to she ends up near a gas station, I think, and she encounters a walker. And, like, out of nowhere, a car comes out of nowhere and rams into Walker twice. Like, the first time it rams into it head on, and then backs it into not a wall, but, like, I think a gas pump thing. And I was not surprised on who was the driver. I was actually laughing my face off when I saw the driver. And I was like, I had a feeling that Carl, even though he said, you shouldn't go, but I'm not going to stop you, basically, I had a feeling Carl was still going to follow her somehow. And turns out I was right, because look who's driving, guys! Carl! How old is Carl again? I don't remember how old is Carl, but the fact that he's actually driving a car is hilarious. Because you know how many memes I saw? They're like, aw, Carl really is his mother's son. Can't drive for smack. Because remember Lori. Remember that glorious moment when Lori drove a car and she got into an accident and it tumbled over and all that stuff? You remember that? Her horrible driving skills apparently passed down to her son, because here's Carl. We see him driving a car for the first time, only to that. And, yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Because she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I just decided to take a stroll, drive around. And I was like, you can't drive, kid. You're a horrible, horrible driver. Hang on, let me throw something else away on this computer. Okay. Anyway, yeah. FYI, Carl's a bad driver, just like his mom. Hashtag it, guys. And, back at Hilltop, Maggie and Sasha wake up in the middle of the night, and apparently there are fires, random fire pits blazing outside, and there is this parked car that has music blaring really loud, and also the gates of Hilltop are literally wide open, and all 4 of the guards have been tied up and dangling from the platform. And not only that, all the trailers, all the door and windows have been locked. And so Sasha and Maggie had no choice but to climb up the sunroof and see what's going on. And Sasha goes up the sunroof and they see that the walkers are starting to flood in because one, the hilltop gates are open. There's a car blaring music and there's fire everywhere. And anyway, I'm running out of time. I'll see you in a part 2 video, okay? Peace.